Hey everybody, Mark Allen V here. So, up until recently, I've been pretty reluctant about talking about my song, What Will You Say? And I was real hesitant in doing this video as well. And that's basically because this song is very much an in your face kind of song. When you listen to it, you may get this impression that there's a lot of anger, frustration, discontent, and even just being ticked off at the hypocrisy of people. And you'd be absolutely right, because I am. I really am. And I know there's a lot of people that share the same frustrations as I do. So that's kind of where this song came from. Now, before I go into the backstory, though, I do want to preface this by saying when it comes to my music, I try to keep politics and religion to a bare minimum. I view my songs as more socially conscious and talking about the human experience. Unfortunately, though, these days, all three of those have kind of melded together in ways, and often the first will be used to justify the way the second handles the third situation, and it's a mess. It really is. But it was never my intention for this song to be politically or religiously motivated. So with that being said, what happened was I fell asleep on the couch one night watching TV, and I woke up the next morning and the news was on. And they were featuring this clip of this politician, a politician who claims to be of great faith, and a politician who rallies their base around the principles of this great faith and makes a lot of their decisions under the guise of this faith. This politician was saying or doing something that totally went against the doctrine of their faith. And I'm like, what in the world? And this isn't the first time. This is a common practice for this person. And I'm just like, how can you sit there and say you are this person of faith, but then act totally opposite of everything that faith stands for? And it just, the hypocrisy of it just floored me. And I remember saying, okay, great. So what will you say? What will you say when you're standing there talking to your maker asks you about this particular time, or this other thing you did, or this other thing you said? What's going to be your answer? Because you're not going to be able to BS your way out of it then like you do now. So that's how the song started. What will you say? What will you say when your time comes? So as the song was progressing, I found myself having a lot of deep philosophical thoughts. And I kind of had this epiphany. And that is that regardless of whether you're religious or not, every one of us at some point is going to have to answer to someone or something about how we lived our lives. So if you are a person of faith, you'll have to answer to your deity. But if you're not, you have to answer to your legacy, right? To how your kids and your grandkids and your friends and all that are going to remember you and what they're going to say about you after you're gone, because there's no redos at that point in time. And then finally, it's like, what about that little child you used to be? That little kid you once were that looked at the world with all this wonder and hope and promise. And did you give them the life that they deserved? So, yeah, all those themes definitely played into the lyrics of this song. Now, I don't want to come across as high and mighty, because I am not, not at all. And I think I make that kind of clear in the first line of the song. I've done my fair share of sins. I have. I know that there are things that I've said and done that have hurt people, probably a lot more people than I know of. And while I've tried to make amends the best I can with as many people as I can, I just can't with everyone. And that's something I have to live with, and I live with it every single day. But there's one thing I can do, and that is stop the cycle. Stop that cycle of passing hate and bigotry and racism and all that stuff down from one generation to another. It stopped with me. My kids don't know hate. My kids don't judge people based on their skin color or their religion or where they're from or how they sound. They treat everyone equally, as they should. And it's my hope and prayer that they'll pass that down to their kids and so on. So when my time comes, that's what I'll say.